Is it your desire to become a better father or a better parent? We all have areas in our lives where we need to improve, and today I'm going to give you 5 biblical tips about how to become a better father or better parent, and even a better follower of Christ in this life that we live. And be sure to stick around to the end, because this final tip ties all of the tips together, and it might just blow your mind as much as it blew mine. So let's jump right into it. These tips I'm giving you today come straight out of Ephesians 4, 1 through 3, and the first one is being humble. The definition of being humble is having a modest or low view of one's own importance. So that means even though I've been at work all day, I feel that when I get home, I deserve some me time. Well, I have a wife and a kid that are waiting for me. They're excited to see me. I've been away all day and they want my attention. And so it is my call to give it to them, because it shows love and it shows care. And it shows some intentionality that even though you feel like you deserve something, it is more important to drop down that level of importance that you feel about yourself and show and serve your family before you do anything for yourself. And so the next tip number 2, is being gentle. And the definition of being gentle is having a quality of being kind, tender, or mild-mannered. And so that kind of goes into, at this point in my life, my kid is a year and a half. So a lot of this goes into how I treat my wife. How he sees me treat my wife is going to show how much I love her, and in turn how much he should treat her and others with the same kind of gentleness that I treat my wife. So the way that I talk to her, the way that I even talk to him or correct him, using that tone, that gentle tone in our voice and in the way that we act is very important in being a godly father or parent. Now, tip number 3 is being patient. The definition of being patient is the ability to accept delay or tolerate struggle without getting upset or angry. And I know with a 1.5-year-old, it takes a lot of patience, especially at nighttime. At least for my kid, he likes to not sleep so much. So when we get into those nights where it's sleepless, we tend to get a little bit less tolerable of things. On a spiritual level, it really takes some prayer and some self-control in those sleep-deprived moments to not lose your cool. And when you lose your cool, you throw tips 1 and 2 out the door. You are not humble and you are not gentle. And that leads me to the next 2 tips. But if you are getting anything out of this right now, I just ask that you would hit that like and subscribe button, because this will help other parents, other fathers, to encourage them and kind of push them to being the parent that God has called them to be. And so just hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and that kind of helps this generate to other people. And so that leads me to tip number 4, and that is bearing with one another in love. And again, this is geared toward how I treat my wife in the times of where I need to be humble, where I need to be gentle, and where I need to have patience, because sometimes we don't do all that. So when that happens, we need to bear with one another. We need to lift each other up in love. And so that brings me to tip number 5, the one that ties all of this together as Christian parents, as a Christian husband and wife, and that's having the eagerness to maintain unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. And so when I'm not being humble, when I'm not being gentle, when I'm not being patient or bearing with one another in love, if I have the eagerness to maintain unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace, then that means I'm going to want to circle right back around and restart. So that's how all of this just gets tied together, that even when those first steps fail, if we have eagerness to maintain unity, then we'll be excited to just restart, forgive ourselves, ask for forgiveness, and just start back and keep pressing forward. So That's what I got for you today. If you want to stick around and watch the video here at the end of my testimony about how Jesus has transformed my life and why I'm here doing what I'm doing right now, feel free to just watch that, and God bless. I'll talk to you next time.